This is a combat robot, and they can do some crazy stuff. But they've always had one glaring issue. I don't have one. Because money. No, that's not going to be enough. But recently I found out they have different classes of combat robots. And there are classes that are way more accessible to you and me. So I built one that would fit in the American Antweight class. Oh, that went in my coffee. And because I feel like most of you also probably don't own a combat robot, I built another one for you. And as I'm saying this, I'm realizing it kind of looks like I built myself two robots.
I have two robots now.
And then rationalized it by saying, oh, I actually built this one for you. But I did more than build a robot and then symbolically give it to you. This one is special. I can control it locally with my gaming controller, like a normal robot do. But I can also start up a live stream on YouTube and hand the controls over to you in chat.
Ah! Exactly. Yeah, fight me, chat.
And actually, I lied when I said that this one was for me. They're both for you. This one is for Twitch, and this one is for YouTube chat. And soon we'll be doing a live stream to see which chat is the best chat at battling robots remotely using text inputs with about 1 second round trip delay. If that sounds like fun, stay till the end of the video to find out when that's actually happening. Now let's go back to the start and I'll show you how I got here. The first thing I did was rummage around for a microcontroller to use as the main controller for the robot. This controller only needs to do two things: control the robot and connect to the internet. Because according to my research, that's where chat lives. So I landed on using an ESP32 because it can connect to the internet and also it can do all the things for controlling the robot. Probably. It was also just kind of on top of the pile of things. Next, I wanted to see if I could simply control something from chat. But actually, before that, I had to write a bunch of software and firmware to get the chat controls up in here. To test that the chat controls work, I soldered a servo directly to the main controller, because a servo uses the same standard signal as most cheap RC motor controllers. PWM. I tested that I could control the servo locally using the gaming controller, and then I moved over to Twitch and just started chatting to myself. With the proof of concept proved, I had allegedly finished the software and firmware. So I started designing the robots. And the first step of this is figuring out what else I have to jam up in here. We already know about the controller, but I still need motors, batteries, motor controllers. I was able to find most of my parts from a couple of places: Palm Beach Bots and Buddy RC. Not sponsored, by the way, although I would appreciate it. I decided on two N20 gear motors to drive the wheels, with a Repeat Robotics dual-brushed Antweight ESC, a Sunny Sky 2208 brushless motor, and a Sunny Sky X18 brushless ESC to drive the weapons. To power everything, I bought 2S 700mAh 14500 lithium batteries. Most of the parts, thankfully, had 3D models available, and I'll have these files and parts list available for you on my Patreon. Now that I have all the parts, I started arranging them in Fusion, which is the software that I'm most familiar with. And I decided that it might be nice to have the robots be sorta modular. So I designed this little swappable drive pack that contains everything the robot needs to move, including the motors, motor controllers, batteries, and ESP32, the main controller. This ended up being a pretty good decision because it gave me a fast way to test hardware and software together before committing to the larger robot designs. And surprisingly, everything seemed to work great. The drive pack is much faster than I thought it would be, and I kinda love it. It also has some traction issues. So I tried adding a groove to the wheels that would hold a rubber band, and that definitely helped, but the rubber bands fell off easily. So I ended up just gluing on some rubber belts. With the drive pack working well, I went ahead and designed two bodies and a special tool that I used to cut a perfect pocket for the drive pack. This tool has a slip fit tolerance that took me a couple of tries to get right. And it also has a couple of features to cut out holes for the reset button and status light. Oh, and a small side note on that status light, it indicates whether or not it's safe to be handling the robots. And throughout this video, you're probably going to see me ignoring it. Don't be like me. Anyways, after cutting the perfect pocket for the drive pack, I used the shell feature to make space for some wires and speed controllers. And then I printed them. A few times. And this is about the time I discovered that everything was not working as it should. Up to this point, I had been testing everything using the gaming controller, assuming that the chat controls just kinda also worked, because they had worked previously with the servos. But it turns out that was wrong, and this is probably a good time to explain how the chat controls actually work. If you've ever played a first-person shooter on PC, you more or less know how to control these robots. My keyboard is disgusting. I should clean it. Nah. Spamming the W, A, S, or D keys in the direction that you want the robot to go should result in the robot moving in that general direction. Just a bunch of D's. D, 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 D. Unfortunately, that's not what happens. Whoa! Okay, that did something. That didn't do what I wanted, but it did something. And it took me an embarrassingly long time to figure this out. Let's try WD, because that should make it go forward in that way. Oh, nope, that was backwards. Why does DW... Why does DW do that? And AW do that? That's wrong. That mixing is wrong. Maybe just a bunch of S's will go forward. Nope, that turns. What the heck, dude? I'm too dumb, guys. I'm too dumb. What am I doing wrong? The robots themselves have two driving modes, one stick and two stick. And that's exactly what it sounds like. In one stick, you use one stick to drive. In two stick, you use both sticks. It's also really important that the robots know what mode to use with each controller, because the way they interpret the commands depend on that mode. The chats are set up as one-stick controllers, and the robots were defaulting to two-stick mode. Anyways, with that fixed, I decorated the YouTube bot to look like an obsidian play button with gold highlights, and it turned out really well. I redesigned the top of the Twitch bot for no reason at all, and I painted the top to make it a little more visible on stream. You might have noticed that they also have weapons. Originally, they had these triangle blades, and I don't really want to go into too much detail about them because they suck. I wanted to move on to the first livestream test. So I called my brothers and let them play around with the robots in a private livestream, which went well. This is going pretty well. Did you really just type ass?
It worked! Let's make it an arc.
Except we discovered, for some reason, one of the robots was way slower than the other. One thing I'm noticing, it's not as fast as yours for some reason. And this actually just turned out to be some automatic throttle calibrations. Then we figured out that we could connect both robots to the same chat. Ooh, what if I connect them both to Twitch chat? There, you're connected to both. Which was not intentional, but I'm not going to fix it. It's a feature now. Next, I needed to know if the whole system could handle a large number of commands coming from both chats at the same time. So we set up a small-scale test battle, and then invited my subscribers to join.
Oh, a hit! He's up on top. Hey, no. Oh, that was a hit.
Kind of dominated. During the test, we discovered a few more issues, and here they are in order of bad to least bad. First, on YouTube stream, I had the latency set to normal, which caused a 5-second delay.
You need to turn. You need to turn.
Oh!
You can't tell what you're doing, okay?
And that would be a huge disadvantage when compared to Twitch's 1 second round trip latency. This was an easy fix by changing the latency to the lowest setting, ending up with a similar 1 second round trip. Next is your driving. So YouTube is stuck over in that corner. Do you guys want help getting out of there?
No, we're great.
Oh, you're fine? Okay, I'll leave you alone.
Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about your driving. The triangle weapons are bad. They did do a small amount of damage,
I need to have metal weapons made because they're not doing a lot of damage.
but also they break really easily.
The weapons are breaking. Not the robots.
Are they?
The motion control systems need a tiny bit of tweaking. And finally, after a little while, the robots started to have traction issues. The rubber was just getting dirty. Some of these things I can fix in software, but the weapons and traction issues are physical design issues that I can probably fix. And the weapons seem like a more interesting problem. So next, let's make and test some new weapons. The first weapon I designed was a asymmetrical blade, or hammer. It has one striking face, and obviously it's going to be imbalanced. Unbalanced? I don't know. To deal with this, I need to align the blade's center of mass with the motor's axis of rotation. In Fusion, you can visualize the center of mass using the Inspect tool, and it was pretty far off. To adjust this, I need to make sure I'm in the orthogonal view. This will remove any visual effects of perspective. I planned ahead and added this counterweight, and left part of the sketch unconstrained so I could move it around a bit and adjust it. At this point, all I need to do is spend some time adjusting the position and resizing the counterweight. I am pretty happy with that. Let's go ahead and get this printed. No. Ooh, still bad. Ooh. Eek. Okay, so making the counterweight taller was a mistake. I think this blade is statically balanced, but not dynamically balanced. And what I mean by that is the center of mass is aligned with the drive motor's axis of rotation. But when I pulled the counterweight up in one direction, I ended up tilting the axis it naturally wants to rotate around. I believe this is called the blade's primary axis. This type of imbalance will only show up when the blade is spinning. The force causing the vibration is generated by the blade trying to align its primary axis with the motor's rotational axis. But because it's directly attached to the motor, it can't. I've designed and printed a new one that should also be dynamically balanced. Hopefully it's better. I also designed a two-tooth version, and I can see I've already made a mistake, but a different one this time. This one is not statically balanced. I added this hole so I could stop the blade from accidentally spinning when it shouldn't, and then I forgot to mirror it on the other side. So this should be pretty shaky. And this version should not be shaky. Okay, so I found this potato that's about to chit itself. Oh, there it goes. I'll blur that out. And this pepper that I kind of want to save seeds from. So let's take these and the robots over to the test area and see how effective the new blades are. Also, I just found a carrot. Okay, well, I don't know how informative that actually was, so what I'm going to do is leave it up to you to decide. I printed 2 of each weapon, and I'll be posting a poll on my Patreon for each robot, where you can vote for which weapon you want to use. And that pretty much gets us caught up to where we are today. But probably more importantly to you, when the first official battle will be. The first official live streamed battle will be on Saturday, April 11th at 9 p.m. Central. Which brings me on to where I'd like this project to go from here. I really want a way for each chat to be able to sabotage the other robot. And I've been working on a system just for that. It's just not quite ready. It also might be fun to let some of you submit designs for the weapons. And then we could test them and have someone make them out of metal. Is that a carrot? The other thing is, if there's enough interest in this live streamed combat robot series, I think it would be fun to reach out to one of my local combat robot leagues and see if they'd let me bring these robots for you to compete. If that sounds like something you want me to do, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, comment your ideas, and support me through Patreon. I'll see you at the battle. Okay, thanks, bye.